Okay, hi gang. This is Sky Painter from Bushcraft USA and HammockForums.net, and I'm here today. What I want to do is try out some new gear, including that camera. But the thing I'd like to review is a knife I just picked up from K-Bar. I bought it off off from A.G. Russell. It's a K-Bar knife. It's called a Potbelly, and it comes with kind of an unusual sheath. I'm not sure I'm totally into this sheath yet. It has a little stuff pouch in the front. Comes with 8 feet of what they call adventure cord. To me, it's braided orangey yellow paracord. It does hold a lot of stuff. I've got a fire steel in there, and I put my, since this is a chopping knife, I put my other chopper in there, which is the cold steel Trailhawk, which I've modified. I just love this thing in the woods. It does everything under the sun, from a draw knife to a splitting maul to shaving to chopping with various lengths of handles. I took off all the blacking. I gave it a bath in vinegar to put a little patina on it, and then I reprofiled the edge, and it really came out nice. That's a nice piece of kit right there. So it has this little pouch in here. Also has a belt carry, which is okay. It's a heavy knife. I mean, this thing weighs about a pound, probably a little over a pound, without anything in the stuff sack. So this isn't, you know, your everyday wander through the woods backpacking knife. Certainly a heck of a chopper if you're going to be camping. On the back here, it has these Molly Pal straps attachments that are so tight I couldn't even get an Alice clip under them. So I'm not sure how useful those really are. They put them on there and it looks pretty, but they're really, really tight. The leg tie grommets will work pretty well. Also on this particular, let me see if I can move up a little. Also on this particular sheath is a secondary little sheath right here, and this knife comes with its little companion, which looks almost like an Azula. It's got the same basic blade shape and the same handle shape as its parent knife. The literature says it's basically for skinning animals, and it looks like it's going to be really good at it. It's got file jimping right up in here, right up diagonally opposite the finger choil, and it also has some up in the top. Now, I've used this already with this fire steel to see if I can toss some sparks with this, and it worked very, very well. This is high carbon steel. When it came out, it's got a little K-Bar logo on there. When it came out, it wasn't really great. It was sharp, but not sharp enough. I brought the edge up on it. Now it's really seems to be a nice little piece of work. Very light. Whether or not I wanted to put paracord in the handle or not, I don't know. I don't know how well it would fit in here with that. So this goes right back in the sheath, and you can see that it just snaps through that last opening. And this is the big Mamu here. This is called a Potbelly from K-Bar. It's a big, heavy knife. It's for chopping. It's got a really nice balance, though. It's balanced right here. And so when it's in your hand, it feels good. Of course, when you're fully in this particular handle, you're back a little bit from the balance point, which adds to the forward weight on this. The shape of this Potbelly moves the weight right about here. And this thing is one powerful chopper. I've been hacking up some trees around here a little bit, and some dead limbs, and it really does go through anything. This handle that's on here, it's got kind of an interesting shape. I like this part, the little fat part in the middle. Fits my hand really nicely. It's a full 1/4 inch full tang 1095 chromium vanadium steel, or a metal. I don't know if it's steel or not. And it's really solid. This weighs at least a pound. They said these are adventure grips, adventure something or other grips. It's got all these little knobbies on it, and it's supposed to be for wet work. If it's covered with blood or covered with water, it's supposed to give you good grip. Now, I suppose that does. I soaked it in water, I grabbed it, but it's a little rough on my hand. Not to say that's a deal breaker because when I'm chopping I always use gloves anyway. I have a pair of work gloves that I use. But I may replace these scales. They've got the little Torx screws on here. I could take those right out and put some really nice scales on there. But this thing is one heck of a chopper. It's got, again, solid 1/4 inch blade. It has a non-sharpened swedge, so this little drop point on the front here is not sharpened at all, but that's not the business end of this knife. The blade itself is the business end, and this thing came out shaving sharp. I've been shaving here off my arm right to the skin. Unbelievable edge on this thing. It came delivered right out of the box, which was really good. So, all things considered, this is one heck of a knife. Although it's heavy, again, I'm not going to carry it on my belt too long. I would put it in my pack. I would go out for 2 or 3 days camping in the same place. I thought it would be useful if we compared it to some of my other big chopping knives. So here's what they compare it to, sort of. They say it's a cross between a Kirkry and a sledgehammer, or a razor blade and a sledgehammer, but it's got the same weight forward configuration in a way. These two things, when you chop them down, both lend to really good slicing and really good weight moving forward. This actually has more forward weight than this bigger Kirkry. It's about half the length. It's certainly wider. And it has more. When I do this, I can feel twice the weight going forward on this. This is one heck of a chopper. This certainly has its place if you're cutting brush, cutting woods. This isn't long enough to be really good going through thick jungle or underbrush, but it's a great chopper of wood. So if I'm if I'm tactical someplace where it's really hot and really bushy, I'm going to be using this. All other times, this is going with me. There's no question, modified or not. So since it's a K-bar, I thought it would be nice to bring out its predecessor that I had used a number of times as a chopper. It doesn't work very well. It's kind of thin. It's a fighting knife. I took all the black off of this. It's a regular K-bar. It's made by Camillus. It works really well. It holds a very, very nice edge. Compared to this Potbelly, it's half the weight, and it doesn't really have the chopping power. This is a fighting knife. It's made for thrusting and slashing. It's not made for chopping. This is made for chopping. Another knife that I like to take out in the field, and I still will, is the Cold Steel Outdoorsman. This is an unbelievable knife. It's bomb-proof. You can see Lynn Thompson always puts these things in a vise and puts a pipe over it and tries to bend them, and they just don't break. This is an amazing piece of work. It's got a bone breaker up on the back here. It's got a super, super sharp edge. It's got the little jimping on the side for carving cordage notches into branches and logs, which is exactly what all this sawback on the back is. You're not going to saw through the tree branch with it. What you're going to do is you're going to saw some nice cordage notches so you can tie things together. This is a really, really, really strong knife. It's a design, it's got a Japanese design to it. There's no hole in the pommel, which I really prefer in a knife out in the woods. But man, this thing does a job. It is sharp, it's really strong. I've used it to chop. It's not going to be as good a chopper as this new one. Will I take this in the woods? You bet. Will I take this in the woods? Many, many times. Love Cold Steel. That's where the Kirkry came from. All you guys probably have one of these U.S. Air Force pilots survival knives, or a bolt knife. I call it a bolt knife because the nuts on the back. As a chopper, not so great. As an all-around bushcrafting knife, absolutely. It'll work. The jimping on the top of this thing is really, this sawback has been designed in one direction, actually to cut through the aluminum skin on an aircraft frame. But it works very, very well at putting notches into logs. If you're going to be making chairs and beds up off the ground, this thing works well. The top swedge is sharpened. I sanded up the stacked leather on it a little bit. I put some oil in there so it tends not to dry out. But this is an awesome piece also. Do I take this all the time? No. Do I take it sometimes? Oh yeah. Depends on where I'm going and how much I really want to carry. But compared to this thing, this is a workhorse. Completely different usage. I also brought out this today because I'm going to try it out a little bit. I think I made a post about this. This is called a Wrangler knife. I also got this from A.G. Russell. I just like the way this handle looked. It's rubberized. It does have screws in here. I can replace it. I like the blade shape. The blade shape is nice and fat. I like these little, really fat little knives. This one looks like it'll work really well for fine work. I think this will be an excellent skinning knife. Really excellent skinning knife. This would be a good quartering knife. I'm sure you could unzip a moose or a bear or an elk with this thing in no time at all. This would be for the fine inside work, and I think this is going to be really good. And I think this is really a non-stick handle. I've gotten this wet, and it really, really works well. It's got a nice deep finger choil here. It's got a thumb rest, not jimping, but a thumb rest up here. So if you're in there working inside a body cavity, you can really do some good stuff with big game. So I brought that out here just because I'm going to play around with it a little bit. And again, it's a brand new camera. And the other thing is this pack behind me. This is the Humvee 3-day assault pack. I stuffed it full of stuff. I've got all kinds of crazy stuff out of 4 or 5 other backpacks just to fill it up. It is loaded, overloaded. I wouldn't carry it this heavy, and it's really comfortable on my back. It's got a really nice lumbar support. I'm going to do a separate review on that pack after I beat it up a little bit, take it through the woods a few times. But right now I'm extremely happy with it. I dumped everything out of a 65-liter pack into this, and because of all of the various compartments on this thing, I still had almost the whole main compartment to shove stuff in. It was great. But back to the knife, this may work with these attachments on this kind of a pack. I was thinking, and I don't know, I mean, this is not going to be for fast deployment, but for carry. It's a heavy knife. If you carry it on one hip or the other hip, you're going to be kind of off. You might have a problem. But if I carried this thing on the back of this pack, squared up, right here, that might work out pretty well, I'm thinking. So that might be someplace that I try carrying this thing around for a while. Not sure. But all in all, I love this knife. I don't like the handle that much. I haven't really tested it out yet. Haven't had it long enough. The steel is awesome. The edge is awesome. The weight forward chopping power is better than all these other knives, including the Kirkry. So all in all, I think I got a pretty good deal. And it even came with this little unzipper down in the bottom here. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, that was my first video review with my brand new camera for the first time. Now I got to figure out how to get this stuff onto YouTube. I may be asking some of you some questions about how to do that, but this has been fun. I'm really enjoying it. Thanks, man. Thanks for watching. Ooh.